Welcome back to Self Revelations. It's your boy B-Dab.
And I'm Juan Moreno.
Welcome to the most organic podcast in the world. Juanavelli, how you been doing this past couple weeks?
Man, I've been doing good, man. Just came back from Vegas, came back from Lovers and Friends Fest, and then went straight into always improving over at work. So, like, we got together with a few, hierarchy management positions that were kind of teaching us like some of the fundamentals when it comes to organizing and improving like processes and being a better leader within that department. And I learned a lot. There's like a lot of things, a lot of phrases that helped me now moving forward, able to contribute to the team with an influence by having certain philosophies. One of the good things that stick with me was when it comes to somebody who's like part of your team, when it comes to something that they're supposed to do as part of their job title and they're not doing, it's either they don't know or they don't care. So if you don't know, okay, I get it, I understand, but I'm going to train you on what needs to be done and what you're supposed to be doing. Or it's either you don't care. And if you don't care and but we're not aligning on what needs to be done, like the vision for the business, then now your time is ticking. So basically we're gonna lead you out of here. Like, you're gonna fire yourself from this, because imagine having somebody on your team that just doesn't care. Then it's gonna bring the whole morale down. You're gonna cause like a mold between everybody else around you. It's a cancer, exactly. So I don't know, just hearing the simplicity of an affirmation or a phrase just like that, just sometimes it goes over people's head, in the ear, out the other. But I think it was just perfect timing. I think sometimes people won't make a change until they're suffering, or timing is it's not the right time, as in they're not suffering, they're not working through this problem. And some people would just hear the advice and just brush it off, right? But until their health or until a problem just keeps being in their way, then they're going to listen to that advice at that time. So during that meeting, it was like a 3-day thing. It was a 5-day, but I just came back on Wednesday. So it was only a 3-day training for me. I learned a lot when it comes to being the best version of myself and just being the leader that I want to be. Yeah. So it was great.
Oh, that's dope. And how was like the weather and stuff out there?
In Vegas?
In Vegas, and then versus when you came back?
Hot as hell. Hot as hell, humid. And then coming back to over here, I mean, it's still hot over here, but it's funny how you can tell the difference between like the weather when it comes to the humidity. Like between like super hot, sharp, like no wind, or it's like hot wind blowing in your face, between like you get a cold breeze but it's still hot, so when that breeze kicks in you feel like good, refreshed. There's a huge difference.
Jesus, that's so crazy. And how many people, like when you were at the concert, like was there like a large crowd? Like was it like kind of like a Coachella type thing?
It was a lot of people there, but it wasn't as a lot as I thought it would be. It was a 2-day event, so They were saying, it was rumored that there was like 100,000 people there on the first day, which it looked like it when you see the crowd and like Ja Rule and Ashanti performing. But then the day that we went, we kind of like arrived pretty late, had like a rough night the day before. So then we showed up. I think that the doors opened like at 12, but we didn't get there till like almost 3. And like it was super hot. People were like, in the shade, and there wasn't that much shade. So people were like leaving. People were like in the bathroom to stay away from the heat. Like it was crazy. Yeah, I remember walking to the bathroom and then there was girls in there. And I was like, what the hell? And you just see them just trying to like just to be in the shade though. And I was like, damn, must really be that hot. But I was feeling great, so I didn't really care. But everybody else around was pretty hot. So I was like, you know what, we can leave. Like we saw T-Pain, so I was like, yeah, that's all. That's good enough for me. See T-Pain, and then just leave. Like, yeah, it's all good.
Was it all old school artists? Oh, okay, that's smooth. That's
smooth, current then. Still, like there's still people that were making music. Like T-Pain has his own podcast and is also making his music still. So pretty dope.
No, that's live. Yeah, I like him. Like he streams and has podcasts and does all that stuff. So I'm like, I feel like I relate to him more than some other artists. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, that's dope that you guys, got the chance to go out there, do that, enjoy yourself, enjoy Vegas. I seen the view where y'all was at, oh my God, it looks so fire. And definitely like is motivating me to go take a trip and go somewhere, even if it's just like the Tahoe or something. But no, that it looked dope. Other than that, how's everything been mentally for you, over this week?
I've been starting to come to like a revelation of like a familiar state of mind of where I was at before, a traumatic event took place, like the accident with, my lady. Like I was kind of in a hiatus trying to survive. Like I before the accident, I was literally on a trajectory of like, I'm working on my leadership. I'm getting into my interpersonal skills. My goals were meeting up. I was eliminating all my debt. I was building these relationships and like feeding the relationships, trying to nourish them to make it more of a stronger bond and letting people know that they do mean a lot to me. Like I was just hitting there, got a new job, making almost 40 to 45% more than I was making in the job before. Leadership, getting to that position of like, I just kept on boom, boom, boom climbing. And then the accident that happened, it just brought everything down. In a way of, because I had to now be in survival mode. Like, okay, I got to make sure she's okay. I got to talk to her job. I got to talk to my job, get the days paid off as much as I can, make sure we don't lose our jobs during this moment, get a lawyer, get the car, handle the car situation. The car is totaled, insurance. Then my family has health scares, situation with one person, and then another person has a health scare, and so everything was just doom. But when it went down, I was still climbing back up. Like I was still, this is gonna pass. It's just in the moment right now, but I gotta make sure I take care of all this stuff the best that I can. So I don't have no time to at that moment to like cry or like, I mean, I definitely did cry a few times, but like a quick tear and then to keep moving. Like, but I had to just keep pushing myself to make sure things are in order, because I know if I don't do it, nobody else is. Like I've already familiar with that feeling, so I know like, hey, this is your time to shine right here. Like you gotta really show how much of a leader you really are. Then when times get tough, how strong are you mentally? Are you willing to put your emotions in the back seat and you just think logically and try to be objective as possible, and to take care of all the surrounding things that are going outside that you can't control but you can influence and try to put yourself in the best situation? Or are you going to be in that backseat crying and woe is me and play victim? And I just know how that goes. And I was like, fuck that. Like, I got to keep going. So like, during that hiatus, I was just going, just keep going, get the lawyer, do this, bring her to the appointments. Oh, don't forget about yourself. And then all this stuff happened. And when I told you I had a panic attack at watching the Spider-Man movie, like, that was kind of a call right there. That was like my, hey, take care of yourself. Like, this could be a heart attack. Like, this could, potentially kill you, have a stroke or something, A lot of strokes and heart attacks happen because of obviously diet, but stress. Like, how you taking care of yourself mentally? I mean, yeah, I was getting by, but that, I think like the anxiety and everything that triggered was like a warning.
Yeah.
Like, hey, take care of yourself. Like, don't just keep moving too far ahead that you forget to take care of your own self. And so doing that made me realize, okay, gotta take care of myself. I started then little by little doing this podcast, talking to you, being open. Things started to become stable again. That turbulence that I was going through was getting better and better and better. And then, coming back to the old job that I left ended up being one of the biggest blessing in disguise. Even the accident, because the accident was the reason why we started this podcast. Like right at that moment, it just pushed us, had the time, took a step back of the role, and still got the same leadership role, but then at a better quality hours for me to be able to do this at this time right now. So everything is now starting to like, I'm hitting back to that similar place where I was at before. So I mean, took 6 months off of being on that high to then now getting back to it again and focusing in and honing on back into being the best version that I can be, to be a leadership and to be a leader and to take care of my family, pay off all this debt, because it put us in a huge 30 steps back. So now I got to make 100 steps forward now. So like now I have to take care of the debt again that, we couldn't pay the bills because, me and her weren't working. I was watching over her. And I think we could have done better at handling that. I could have maybe communicated to somebody, hey, can you watch while I go to work? But I was just so locked into like, myself, like, what can I do instead of reaching out, which I could have done better. But, it is what it is, learning experience. But now I got to dig myself out of that hole. I don't really see it as a whole. I can't say that, but it's more of like, I got to adapt now to where I'm at currently and then bring myself back up. Because I know it's inevitable that I'm going to be successful. And I don't know what it is specifically, but I just know that, whatever debt or whatever stress or whatever, problematic thought or situation I'm in, I'll be able to get through it. And I'm going to be all right.
Yeah, facts. That's a great mentality to have. And going back to what you said about, you dealing with those things and getting through those things and like how stuff seemed like at a peak and like, skyrocketing and then everything came down. And that process of the coming down and you dealing with all that stress, you went into like a survival mode. So can you like explain a little bit more of like what it was like? Were you dealing with other stuff at the time, like during that survival mode, and like where were you at mentally? Like, was it more of like you were kind of numbing those feelings so you can be like that leader for your family and still push through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I think about survival mode, it's like pushing everything to the side. Everything, every emotion. I gotta get the results. I gotta get this done. I gotta do this. I had to eliminate the feelings. I had to be numb. I had to just do more than think, which is a good thing to do, but at the same time, like, you could lose track to the point where you don't take care of yourself and you're drinking alcohol every day to get by, and that's a way that it could lead to that. So for me, like, you see a lot of people like in neighborhoods that are living in survival mode, like in poverty, that you have to, your way of survival is, selling drugs or like, robbing people or taking taking shortcuts. I didn't take shortcuts. That's not my meaning of survival, but I definitely had to tap into what's in front of me and handle it. Everything was like an objective. Like, oh, I got to get the lawyer. I got to do this. I got to call this. And obviously, it's not as simple as, you call a lawyer, now you got a lawyer. Like, it's not. You call, look, find for a lawyer, fits the description, go through a consultation, see if they can help you. Are they the right people? What do I have to sign? Is this going to work? What are the odds of us winning? What are you looking for? So, like, every little thing was way longer than what I'm making it seem. Like, it was way more complex than, like, you see. It's kind of like when you see, like, the outcome of whatever now, but you didn't see all the work that it took to get over here. Like, I've aged off, like, 5 years going through that, like, 6 months, like, because I was legit in survival mode, which was like, get it done. Like, don't put my feelings to the side. I felt every single emotion while I'm going through it, but I had to push it because I don't have time to sit here and woe was me and cry. Like fuck that. Like, I got to get this shit done or else nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah, facts. Ain't nobody with a cape coming to save you.
Nope.
And
not at all.
I think it was week 8 or week 9. It was the first time I had heard you say, like, when I do that normal check-in, like, hey, how you feeling, like, in this past couple weeks, it was the first time I had heard you say, like, oh, yeah, like, I'm actually happy. I'm doing good. And I'm like, hold on, like, I ain't heard him say that. It's been 9 weeks since we started this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even longer than that. And, like, that was at a point where you had, everything started getting back to normal. She started getting back right. And, like, you could just tell with your energy, you felt better, and I was happy for that. But I could tell that time for you was tough, and I couldn't imagine going through that type of stuff. Let alone like, the love of your life. So, I commend you for getting through that. With your head up, your chin up, and you didn't fold when those things presented itself to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have to embrace that. I mean, you see a lot of people cave. You see, like, when somebody has, like, their lady pregnant, they'll go cheat or, like, let them go suffer through their issues. Or when something happens to a boyfriend or a girlfriend, some people leave or that person goes to jail, you don't even buy them a suit. You just dip out because times get tough. Like, I just knew I had to do everything I can to show my appreciation and my love. Like, how much do you really deeply care? Like, when this is the time to show it. Yeah, it's when you're healthy and you guys are both healthy. Yeah, it's easy to lovey-dovey, go to movie theater and stuff like that. But when shit gets tough, like, how are you there though? And that's was in the back of my mind the whole time. Like, what would you want her to do, or what would you want somebody to do with you if this happened to you? And that's one of the things that I did was, like, you know, embrace that role and do everything that I can to then put them in the best position to recover and not stress. Like, don't focus on nothing but just healing. Like, relax, take a break. But now it's me, like, building the patience of, like, you know, letting her work through the process of healing herself mentally. She went through a traumatic experience, and now I'm like have to remind, because now I'm back here, but now I'm like looking at her to be here too. And so I have to remind myself to, like, be patient, relax. She's on her own journey, but it's so easier said than done because I'm a green light, go, 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 go person. She's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step person. So that, like, there's a lot of, like, I have a lot of, like, anxiety or tension behind it because I'm the type of person to go in the grocery store and I know what I want. Get boom, 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 stop at these departments, go to the line, pay, get the fuck out of there. Some people like to, oh, I need to go get this. Oh, I think I need to get this too. Oh, let me go walk around. And I can't. I'm not that type of person. Like, I just don't have it. Not yet, at least. But I'm just still working on, like, being in the moment, be present, like, let go of expectations. Don't put your expectations on the other person. And now I'm in another phase of working through a battle of being patient and relaxing and not judging that person.
Yeah, facts. And, you know, on the topic of, like, you know, you talking about those things and, you know, discussing, like, yeah, you know, like when your partner's pregnant, you know, some people like to go cheat and shit like that. Like, how important is it for someone, how important is it for you, how important integrity is for you?
I think integrity is, like, you know, if you want to be a leader or you want to be somebody of influence, you need people to trust you. So your word is bond. So if you're not a person that can be of what they say, like you say this, but then you do the opposite, the more you do that, the less trust people have. And I think your integrity is what holds you together, like your character. So, like, if you don't have integrity, nobody's going to trust you. Nobody's really going to take your word. But if you have integrity, people are going to follow you and help you and want to be around you and want to be in your presence and want you to be around them to help influence them to be better. I think it's kind of like integrity is like your word. So, like, your word is all you really have and your actions show it. So you have to lead by example. You know, a lot of people were taught, like, you know, what is it called? Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are taught like that. And I was even taught like that, like when I was younger. So I had to work through my own integrity issues for years to see that how important it is to lead by example and be honest, be vulnerable. Like, I say a lot of things on here that are very, very personal that does affect people. Like, they're sensitive to what I'm saying because there's truth in what I'm saying. Every clip that we post, everything that we say is I'm legit living it that week. Like, I'm literally going through it in that month. I'm being so transparent. It's uncomfortable to anybody else. And I'm good doing that because I'm living my truth. I'm working through what I'm saying I'm working through. I'm able to, like, identify my problems and to be vulnerable. And that's where my integrity just gets the respect people have for me because of that is the reason why I do it. Like, I'm not here to put a front. I'm not here to be like I'm perfect and I have everything solved. I don't know shit. I'm still learning. And I'm humble enough to be like, I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. And if you think you are, salute to you, but good luck in life because you're going to be depressed. Because if you think you're better than me, then you think somebody else is better than you. And if you think you're better than somebody else, you know, that other person that's a hierarchy, you're going to feel like shit because you think that they're better than you. So I just, like, very aware of, like, how high your integrity has to be to live a successful, happy, content life, or else you're going to be unhappy.
Yeah, facts. I completely agree. And when it comes to challenging yourself, like how important is it to challenge yourself or to deal with challenges in your life?
I think that's the only way you're gonna grow. Like, you need to push yourself to your limitations in that moment. And you know that your limitations when you feel that fucking ball right here in your damn throat. Like, you want to say something, but you don't. You're like kind of nervous to, or you're scared to, because you're scared to like speak your opinion. You're scared of fear, or you're scared of like validation. He's laughing because I said ball in my throat, by the way.
But you just gotta keep going.
It's too late. I'm gonna have to figure out with these analogies a little bit better.
First thing that came in my head was, "Hey yo,
hey yo." I'm surprised you didn't say nothing. I just see your face.
You're saying?
Even as soon as I said it, I was kind of like, I said, I don't want to look at him. But to circle back to that, I mean, you legit have to. That's the one thing I don't like. I don't like when people label. I don't like. I will never. I don't know what it is about me. Is I don't like feeling like I'm in a box. Mm. Like if somebody, you want next week off? You can't. We need you here. Like it's mandatory or stuff like that. Mandatory for everybody else. I'm not gonna be here though. I'll take the points. Oh well, then you're not really a team. No. I have plans already. I have things that are a higher priority. I have a life too. I have a bigger purpose than anything that's outside of that purpose. And I'm able to communicate that and be super transparent about that and be honest. And I'm willing to put myself in situations that will help me grow. So like I would hear people be like, I'm not good with names. No, you decided you're not good with names. You're not. It's not that you're not good with names. You just told yourself you're not, and you're not willing to work on it. And I'm not that type of person. I'm the type of person that will work on it. I'm the type of person that will push myself to have all these emotions. Like let's say one of my biggest fears was speaking. And here I am speaking on the podcast. So that's one of my biggest fears is like being able to like, I was scared of validation. I was scared of what people are going to say. But once I realized like, if you're just authentic and you have high integrity of yourself and you mean what you say and you know that you're not right and you don't have all the answers, like you're going to fuck up, you make mistakes, then you're going to be all right with whatever comes out of your mouth. So I would push myself to speak in meetings of groups of like 30 or 40, 50 people and communicate and talk about things that other people would look at as uncomfortable. And I would feel all the emotions. Like I would feel like cold feet, my stomach turning, like I feel like almost throwing up. And like there was times the first time I ever spoke, I felt like I was gonna pass out. I got blurry, like my vision got blurry. I was reading a paper, I was like this. But then the more I did it, because I could have done that, right? And a lot of people would be like, oh, reading is not for me. I'm not a speaker. I don't operate like that. Like I know if I say I'm not a speaker, then I'll never do it again. And if I want to be who I want to be, then I'm not going to be that because I chose to not push myself. Like I push myself towards every single emotion. I just know that it's part of the process. I just know that I'm feeling like this right now because I've never done this before. Yeah. But I know after the 50th time, every single time that I do it, the emotions get less tensed. And so I just know that I started tapping into that, like that David Goggins mentality. Like, nah, fuck that. Like, if I know that I don't want to do something, I know that I really have to do it. So if my mind's telling me, no, don't do it because of fear, oh, yeah, you're for sure doing it now. Yeah. And I even do that to the people around me on my team. Like, they'll be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not in shape or I'm uncomfortable. I can't lift that. You know, in the job description, it says you have to be able to lift 50 pounds. Yeah. If you tell me you can't lift 50 pounds, then this is another conversation we're going to have, which means your time is now ticking of being here. So either you man the fuck up and say you can because that's what you signed, or get the fuck out of here. Yeah. You can leave. And so like, because the worst thing that I know that a lot of people do, which I can't do, is make excuses. Fuck that. You got to figure a way out. And that's kind of how I feel of like, you have to push yourself and do the things that you don't want to do to then be where you want to be. But some people don't have that, and it's okay. But for me, no. I have to push myself or else I don't grow.
Yeah, facts. You never want to be closed-minded when it comes to those type of things, especially when it comes to, like, challenges or trying new things. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of blessings that have came in my life from being uncomfortable. You know, every situation I've ever been in, every obstacle that I've ever got over, at some point in it came like discomfort, you know, but once you push through it and you get over that obstacle, you're like, oh, this wasn't that bad, you know, and then, like you said, it makes you stronger.
For you, it's like, even with the things that you do, you'll be surprised. Like, people think like what you're doing is like so like extraordinary, so difficult and impossible. Like, oh, how do you work out? Like, how did you get like that? Like, people will be like, oh, you did steroids, or oh, it's all genetics. Like, you start to hear people just make excuses. Like, just it's just all excuses. That's my thing. Like, when I hear somebody say, oh, this is why this person's successful, it's like, oh, you're saying that because it's an excuse because why you're not successful. And I'm so good at like registering like what you're saying and then looking at your actions. And then I just started identifying like, oh, this is your way of like giving yourself the easy way out of saying, oh, I can't get that big because of genetics, so I'm not gonna work out, or I'm a half-ass, or I'm not gonna work as hard. And that's the thing I can't do. Like that just thinking like excuses. Like imagine like you just telling yourself, or imagine you see a reflection of yourself, like you're outside of your body seeing the current you right now. Let's say you decide to just quit football. I'm never gonna make it. And blah, 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 because of this, because of that, because I'm not maybe as social as I should be. Maybe I'm not politically involved as much as I should be. So this is the reason why I play football. Imagine you right now hearing yourself say something like that. Like, how would you feel about hearing yourself and hearing other people just make excuses?
I mean, the excuses in general, like, just doesn't sit well with me. I mean, it's, you know, I kind of have like I wouldn't say toxic mentality when it comes to that, but like quit your bitching. Like, that's how I feel about it, you know, like when it comes to making the excuses. Like, I remember on one of the posts, a guy had said something on the lines of, oh, like that's all genetics. You know, like, oh, this is the reason why you're lifting like this because of genetics. And I remember you had, before I could even like, because I was honestly just going to ignore it and just go about my day. But when you, like, I think you called me and you told me, you were like, bro, that shit pisses me off. Like the fact that he has to make that comment and basically say, like, all the work you're putting in is because you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? You were going to be that strong regardless just because of your ethnicity or whatever. But this dude looked like he eat Twinkies every day and sits on his couch. So, of course, you're not going to see, you know, any gains or any progress, and you're not going to be strong because you don't put in the work, point blank, period. So when it comes to excuses and stuff like that, bro, like, I just feel like there's, like, for any situation, you can always find a way out. You can always, you know, get through it.
Do you think there's a relation between excuses and quitting? Do you think, oh yeah, people say excuse, but in reality you quit?
Oh, hell yeah. Like, when it comes to anything, life, sports, anything. So like when stuff gets hard, you know, that's the easy thing to do, is to be like, oh, well, this coach did this, so that's why I quit. Or they weren't playing me because of this, so that's why I quit. Or I could have been this, but I just decided not to play on my team anymore, or whatever it may be. Or I quit my job because they weren't paying enough, and they were playing politics and they had favorites. Like, at the end of the day, like, you quit. You made the decision to back out. You made the decision to give up. You know, and that says a lot about your character.
100%. Even when I look back at myself too, is like when I look at all the things that I was in but I didn't complete, I came to the realization that I quit. Like, I stopped doing it. There's a reason why I quit, and I have my own reasons. I don't need to justify those reasons. I just know that I quit. Bottom line, you quit doing it. That's the reason why you're not doing it no more. Don't blame it on so-and-so or this situation. Yeah, there's influences for sure. That's good to acknowledge that. But don't put it all on those reasons. No, you quit. You could have pushed through. Imagine was it Nick Chubb that broke his fucking leg on video, and one of like the last, I don't know if it was a senior season.
It was when he played for Georgia.
Yeah.
And some
sideline, you've seen it.
Didn't it bend the opposite way?
I think it bent forward.
Broke that way? Yeah,
it bent forward.
Went like this and broke.
Yeah. Oh. And look at him now. fucking. But savage. Imagine how many stories there are of that type of situation. People quit. People didn't come back. People didn't try. And to each his own. You know, I'm not saying like what they did was wrong or whatever. But I didn't make it far because of injuries. No, you quit. Yeah. Just be honest with yourself, because I feel like when you're not honest and you put these like excuses, you cause more damage to yourself than it is you feeling good about saying it. So people will be like, oh yeah, fucking John was gonna be an NFL player, but his Achilles tore. No, you quit. Yeah, your Achilles was a part of the journey, but you quit. And like, just say it.
Yeah. Unless you blow out both your knees at the same time, then brother.
Well, who else did that? Somebody did some wild stuff. Was it Adrian Peterson or something?
Adrian Peterson blew. He tore his ACL, came back in 6 months.
No excuse.
The fastest recovery ever by an ACL complete tear.
It's still playing.
And rushed for 2,000 yards the next season.
Ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. What's your excuse?
That's all.
Yeah, what's your
Adrian
excuse?
Peterson.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. There's no excuse, bro. You know, and that's why like when I was at the lowest of the lowest point of my life, and I was playing on a team that was utilizing me, and we were losing, and I was dealing with stuff in my family, death in my family, and stuff like that. Even when I was at my lowest point, bro, and I was like, I have no reason to keep pushing and trying to play for this team. When I was in college, I was like, yeah, it's not in me. Like even at that point where I was like, oh, sad, depressed, whatever it may be, I said, yeah, I can't do it. I can't quit. Like that I don't know what about it that bothered me so much, but I said, yeah, I just can't just give up and go back home. Fuck that. Like I'm still gonna grind. I'm still gonna do exactly what I'm. Because what am I gonna do if I quit? Quitting only guarantees failure. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't do anything for you. Like if you keep working, there's a possibility of you being successful. You know, it's not guaranteed, but if you quit, there's a 100% chance that you fail.
100%. Have you had an experience of a bad taste in your mouth because that you quit at something, or is this something that you've always had?
I've never quit at anything. That's the thing. Like, same thing with hoop. Like, I had a bad experience with a coach, but I still stuck it out. I've always stuck out shit. I've stuck out shit in relationships that I shouldn't have. I stuck out stuff in basketball, football, with my jobs I should have, left earlier. But it's just I've always had that problem. I've always had that problem of
letting go,
like quitting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could say letting go too. Yeah, like quitting.
It's more quitting. For
so,
sure. Not letting go.
But yeah, I don't know why. It's probably because of like how I was brought up, and my parents always kind of pushed me towards like grinding and seeing things through before just giving up,
How strong has faith been within like your journey, as in what it pertains to you? Like, what is it that, you believe faith has brought you to where you are right now?
Oh, it's everything. Like, in my personal opinion, I feel like God has blessed me with every single ounce of success that I've reached. Everything that's in my life right now, I prayed for, and I know a lot of people say like, oh, like I prayed for this and that, and it didn't fall into my lap. Well, you got to give God something to work with. You can't just pray and be like, oh, he didn't bless me with this. He didn't bless me with $1 million. Like, you didn't work for it. Start a business. Start grinding. You wanna be a NFL player? Do you work on your craft? Prayer meets preparation. Like, what are you giving to what you're praying for? You know what I'm saying? Like, so in that same sense, like the stuff that I was praying for, I was busting my ass and working. I could sit there and pray all I want, but if I'm out smoking, drinking every night, I'm not aligning in what I'm asking for. So why would he bless you with that if you're not putting in that work? You're not putting in that time. Look, I wish I got that promotion at work. I want to do this, that, and that. You go out every single weekend. You go out somewhere on the weekdays. You show up late to work. You're an asshole when you're talking to people at work. You talk shit about people behind their back at work, and you're in the lunchroom 10 minutes past your break, and you're doing all these things that not gonna put you in the right position to succeed. So going back to what I said, like your actions are gonna line you up to where you want to be. So if you're saying, oh, I want to go to the league, I want to do this, I want to do that, you can do it, guaranteed. You can do anything that you put your mind to, but it comes with the work you're gonna put in.
Now it's great too, because like I start to see it's like more like discipline. Like I mean, I struggle with that every damn day. I mean, I do a lot. I think sometimes I don't give myself enough credit because I mean I could do 9 out of 10 things, but the one thing that I didn't do bothers the fuck out of me. Like basically all that 9 shit doesn't matter. All 9 other things I did doesn't matter. But when I think about that, when I think about people that are trying to like people, you can't just manifest and like what's that one? People always talk shit about this book, like I think it's called The Secret, or there's another book too, like The Law of Attraction. Like, because a lot of people would like just say shit or pray, but don't do nothing to put yourself. My thing is, opportunity meets preparation. It's inevitable. Like if you're prepared for the moment, you know what you're talking about. You have put yourself in position to be skilled at whatever task, position, project that you want to get into. You need to be ready when that time calls. So like if you're not ready when that time calls, and let's say you're partying all night, you're always complaining that you don't get to play and like you never get the ball thrown, and then coach calls your number, fourth quarter, wide receiver gets hurt, you're the next runner up, we need you, this is a perfect opportunity, 14 seconds left on the clock, we need a Hail Mary pass, we're looking at you. You've been partying all night, blah, blah, but you've been living and you want this moment, whatever, blah, blah. You get on the field, throw you the ball, and you drop it.
Exactly.
Because you never had the practice of being in that mentality, like expecting the ball right in your hands. You never really prepared for that opportunity. And now you're benched. Now you just lost that opportunity. And now you want to sit here and bitch and complain and say it's this, that, this, and that.
If it was a better ball.
Yeah,
hit both
throw
your
it better. Like, you better try to do whatever the fuck you can to grab that ball. What, the ball is supposed to just magically appear right in the X? No, it's here, there. Like, and that's opportunities. Opportunities are gonna come when you don't expect it. And the most successful moments that happen in somebody's life is when they don't expect it. But you're prepared. You've done the work. Like I remember times where I would research, like I would talk about this with you too. Like I would read like negotiation books. This guy named Chris Voss, FBI negotiator. I came out with books. I came out with phrases, tactics to use, mirroring somebody to put myself in position when I envision myself doing like $1 million deals, $100,000 deals. And I would like literally study how to listen more than to speak. Listen more than you speak. Mirroring somebody. Mirroring is something simple as like, let's say you say something that I might want you to expand on. Like you say something about, oh yeah, I need you to delegate this to this person. Delegate? You'll be like, oh yeah, delegate. I need you to get that person to do this task, so I can need you to do this. Instead of saying, oh, what do you mean? Or what? What was that? Or I don't hear you. I don't get it. Blah blah. You mirror them by repeating the last word that they said. If you don't understand, or you want them to expand, or maybe it might be something that you don't agree with, and that seems like extra work. So you kind of question them without literally questioning them, or creating a defense mechanism in their body that they hear critique and you're like, why are you questioning me? Or like, I'm asking you to do this, why you're not doing it? Instead, you mirror them by repeating a word that they just finished with. You're like, delegate. You're like, oh yeah, I need you to get them to do that. Oh, we need them to do that right now? And then they'll be like, oh yeah. And sometimes they'll end up like solving, you know what? No, you're good. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you don't need to do that. I'll have him just do that. Like, you literally could delegate, negotiate with your words, and like let them repeat them and solve it. So like I learned all that stuff between books and like preparing for the opportunity when I negotiate to just listen, hear key phrases, and then my preparation meets the opportunity to then negotiate a higher salary. So like doing things like that, putting yourself in position is what's going to get you successful. But you want to make excuses. You don't want to work hard. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. No fucking prayer is going to save you. Nothing, you're not going to get gifted like a fucking $1 million in front of you. No, you got to put in the work.
Facts. And it's crazy. And a lot of people who are positions of power or in higher positions of wherever their goals are, or whatever it may be. I'm sure you've been in meetings to where you've met, other managers, other people who are in positions or other managers or people who are in position of power that had kind of the same mentality as you or have that same amount of discipline, and they work on themselves and they kind of have that positive way of thinking, and I kind of seen it where, a lot of places that I've been as well, coming on teams and seeing guys kind of have that same, we not knowing each other, but we're on that same path. This person grinds and works just as hard as me. Oh, this person has a positive mindset when it comes to things that happen negative. Something negative might happen to the team, but they keep that positive mindset and they're like, okay, this happened. Okay, we're something bad. Let's say you gave him a touchdown. Okay, hey, next play, let's work let's get a stop. Let's do this and that. Someone could easily throw up their hands. Why? Oh, this person fucked up. Is he always messing up? And be negative towards that. But the people who are genuinely leaders and can take in that negative situation and turn it into a positive, I feel like that's a diamond in the rough as it is.
Yeah, it's because you start to see it's all about your perspective, half empty, half full. Will you look at the situation? Are you gonna learn from it, or are you gonna make it as an excuse why you didn't get a job done? So that's why everything to me is all about perspective. Damn, I sound like straight up Gary Vee, but that's literally. But I do strongly agree with that. You get to choose how you adapt from here on out. You could sit here and cry about it, or you could sit here and learn from it. I forgot who said it, but I don't take losses, I take lessons. I just learn from this. I don't really take this as defeat. You know what I mean? I just learn, get better, do what I gotta do, adapt to then not be in the same situation again. There's only been a few times in my life when I was earlier when I've been in the same situation twice or three times, and I touched a stove 3 times, but I didn't realize maybe you shouldn't do that. But sometimes you gotta put your hand on the stove to realize why the hell you keep doing this, to then learn from that lesson. And some people would I've done that. I would be in cycles of doing the same situation, whether it's in a relationship, you're dealing with the same emotion, the same outcome, and you're what the fuck? And then you realize that you have to break a pattern. You have to create a boundary. Some people have a problem of speaking their mind and being honest. And that's one thing I had to learn. For me, how I am, I'm all in or all out. So either I'm a fucking liar or I'm straight up fucking honest and brutally honest to the point where it hurts people's feelings. And I'd rather go towards that than to lie and to try to project some type of image of who I'm not.
Yeah, because then that hurts your character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, facts. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week. I appreciate all the input that you had. I feel like this was a good podcast, and we talked about a lot of stuff of value when it comes to integrity, challenging ourselves, being in that right mindset, and being better people. So. I just hope that we can just keep on growing, with, whatever we're doing, our podcast, our career, us as people in general, and just keep climbing, bro, at the end of the day, because that's what it's all about, is being better in all facets, so, but, we appreciate you guys for tapping in with us on Self Revelations Podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.
Sheesh.